Phobie's team has surprised us again. They dropped yet another bundle Phobie on us. And this one is very interesting. It's definitely making some people and Phobies a little sick. Let's talk about Cecilia. Now, before we get into everything, I of course have to let everybody know that I am part of the content affiliate program. That means that the Phobies team does give me coffee for producing Phobies content. But let's talk about Cecilia. So first things first, right off the bat, of course, Cecilia is a new exclusive offer Phobie. As with the other ones, it's a timed exclusive, meaning you can only get it through buying the bundle before it shows up in packs eventually. At the time of this recording, 22 days left on that timer. So going to be at least that long before we see it show up in packs. Now, 4,000 coffee come with this bundle. And I do love that the Phobies team, as I've said with other exclusive offer Phobies, I love that you can selectively acquire Phobies, that you have this option to buy them and just get it. You don't have to worry about the pack system. You just get it. However, $100 USD, and obviously exchange rates, conversion rates, all that kind of stuff play into it. That is a lot to ask. Whether you look at the coffee cost or not, you're still laying out a bunch of money. Now, 4,000 coffee will cost you about $50 USD. It's a little weird because it falls in between two of the coffee options that are currently in the store. There's something there. So if we say that we'll just round it to say 50. So that means another $50 is for the Phobie. That's the evaluation point of we're going to have to look at. Is this Phobie worth $50? Well, first things first, no. Just full stop. No Phobie's worth $50 because you don't get the levels. That's the thing with these. You get it. You get, I think, up to level 3. Don't quote me on that because I haven't bought any of these. But I think you get it up to level 3. It does not bring it up to your current stress or Phobie level. And that's a problem. So that's a problem with all of these offers because if you are a player who's been around for some time, you pay $100 and just can't use this thing for 6 months. It's no different than acquiring a new Phobie in any other methodology. You just sit there and wait, unfortunately. The leveling up sequence is what it is, and it just sucks. That's the bottom line. From there, let's talk about Cecilia as an actual Phobie. All right, let's take a peek at Cecilia at level 1. This is a 6 cost, of course, ultra rare. It's a dimensional, 2 movement, 1 range. Big problem with melee there. 500 damage, though, and it is disease immune. And it also tacks on the ability Fertilize. So you can create a disease tile for 4 turns that will confer 150 disease, or it can destroy a disease tile. This is a very similar ability to what we saw with Prometheus. Is dodging disease that big of a deal? And you can make an argument on a dimensional. It's cute and all, but I'm not sure that I want to pay 6 keys for that. It's just nice, and it kind of feels like, hey, if I'm going to be creating disease tiles, and they being the devs, have already demonstrated that they're interested in putting in these immune Phobies, it makes sense to have it on Cecilia here. However, 6 keys is a lot to essentially create a known trap. And by known trap, I mean, if you play a trapper, you sling a trap out there, they don't go into a place that your opponent technically knows. Can your opponent suss it out? Sure. Will they? Not necessarily. And that trap will remain there until another trap removes it. You get a Doom or a Tickles, or they just step on it. That trap is sitting there for the remainder of the game. Your opponent technically can wait Cecilia out. Speaking of waiting it out, Cecilia gives your opponent the option of just, okay, I'll eat the disease. 150 damage a turn is not a lot. Of course, it will scale up, or I'm presuming it will scale up. We haven't actually seen too much in-game footage for this yet, but this isn't a lot of damage, which is logical. The current disease tiles don't do a ton of damage. It might be oppressive for them to do it. I think the main reason you would want Cecilia is to try and remove disease tiles. Maybe we're looking at Diabolical, where you have all the disease tiles that are all up towards the hearts and the northern corners of the map. Clear a path that way? Possibly. You could, of course, threaten a number of players by setting up these disease tiles. This is notably on the old Boolean timer, so you can pump out a lot of these. And maybe everyone's underestimating that aspect of it, that you can dump them out there and overlap them a lot. Just completely coat the board in these disease tiles and force your opponent into a weird spot. Now, of course, they could answer with mechs or just try and push Cecilia before she has time to set up this minefield. Or they could play the long game and wait it out, and they will go away on their own. I'm not too thrilled about Cecilia at the moment, personally. She does represent a significant amount of damage. 350 is typically a baseline number. 400 is really where you want to be. She's actually at 500, so she does have a slightly higher end damage output, meaning that, sure, she could fertilize a couple tiles and then ultimately push. But I'm not sure if this is enough to warrant it. Now, as a general exclusive bundle commentary, I kind of would rather this than have them put overpowered phobies into bundles and then force people or grant people a quote-unquote pay-to-win advantage, even if it is timed. I don't know how thrilled anybody's going to be to drop $100, though, on this, and then it turns out, hey, it's not actually that great. Either way, we'll see how Cecilia plays out. I'm excited to see. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think that I'm wrong? Do you think that I'm right? Do you have a totally different opinion on Cecilia? Where do you envision you're going to use it? But that's going to do it for this time. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for more Random's Thoughts.